Hey guys, this is Rue from Rue TV, and if you didn't know, you are watching Jammin' Music Man. So don't even think about changing that channel. Don't even come close to picking up that remote. Well, it wouldn't be a remote, it's the internet. It's like keyboard or I don't touch them. Keep it here on Jammin' Music Man, my favorite channel on YouTube.
What's up guys, it's me, Jammin' Music Man, and welcome to my special new video. And in this video, I'm giving you guys my top 5 wrestling Blu-ray DVDs that you should have in your collection for the month of September 2023. Now these Blu-rays and DVDs, they could span from a certain wrestler, a certain tag team, a certain pay-per-view, from any decade, from any wrestling promotion. So let's get right into it. Alright you guys, this first DVD that I recommend you guys having in your wrestling Blu-ray DVD collection is for all you WWE fans. And this is the first WWE show, or modern WWE show that I've seen in quite some time. And I really did enjoy it. And it's the 2023 Royal Rumble. I picked this up at my local Walmart. So it might be at yours. Go check out your local Walmart. But this show right here, I enjoyed it. Cody Rhodes ends up winning the Men's Royal Rumble. That was a fun watch. Rhea Ripley, she wins the Women's Royal Rumble. That was a fun watch. Sadly, with the 2023 Royal Rumble, this would be Bray Wyatt's last Royal Rumble appearance, as he would have a match, a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match with LA Knight. It was an okay match. Not my favorite Bray Wyatt match of all time, but it was okay. But sadly, this was his last Rumble appearance, and sadly, I think not too long after this match, he would end up, taking some time off from wrestling. But the main event for this show, you get the WWE Champion Roman Reigns taking on Kevin Owens. I really did enjoy this match with the whole drama between Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. That was, that was fun to watch. But then after the match, the beatdown that the Bloodline gives Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, oh man, that was brutal. But this was a fun show. If you guys haven't seen any, modern WWE, and you want to get back into it, I would really start with the 2023 Royal Rumble. Alright you guys, this next DVD right here is for all you diehard ECW fans, and it's one of my all-time favorite ECW pay-per-views, and it's from 1999. And that pay-per-view that I'm talking about is ECW Anarchy Rules 1999. This DVD right here I picked up from highspots.com. Highspots has a great ECW DVD selection that you guys should check out. I'll put a link in the description box below to Highspots website. But this pay-per-view right here, this is from September of 1999. ECW had been on TNN with the Friday night show for maybe just a month, or maybe just a few weeks during this time of the pay-per-view. The big headline match for this pay-per-view was going to be Masato Tanaka taking on Taz for the ECW title. Well, at the pay-per-view, Mike Awesome found his way into the heavyweight title match, so it becomes a three-way dance. And it was a great three-way dance. Taz is the first to be eliminated. Mike Awesome ends up picking up the win over Tanaka, becomes the new ECW champion. And there, not too long after this match, Taz would end up leaving ECW to join the WWE. He would show up at Royal Rumble 2000. But man, some other great notable matches on here. The last match on the card, you can call it the main event if you want, but it's Rob Van Dam defending the ECW TV title against Balls Mahoney. Now, during this time in 1999 and 2000, Rob Van Dam always had to close every single ECW pay-per-view. Why? Because he was Mr. PPV. But, you know, great, decent match. Also, you get on here, you get the ECW Tag Team Champions, the Odd Couple, Tommy Dreamer and Raven taking on Steve Corino and Rhino. Also, you get Sabu taking on Just Incredible. Great match. Another great three-way dance you get on here. You get Tajiri taking on Super Crazy, taking on Little Guido. Now, during this time in 99 and 2000, with every single ECW pay-per-view, you always had these three guys right here in some sort of match with one another, but they put on a great, spectacular match. Also, you get Nova and Chris Chetti taking on Simon Diamond and Tony DeVito. Jazz taking on Tom Marquez, and you get another great match, Lance Storm taking on Jerry Lynn. But all in all, this is a great ECW pay-per-view, one of their best that I highly recommend you checking out and having in your DVD collection. Like I said, I picked this up from High Spots. Definitely one you should check out if you're a die-hard ECW fan, or if you want to get into ECW, check this one out. Alright, you guys, this next DVD that I recommend you guys having in your wrestling DVD Blu-ray collection features probably the most controversial wrestler of all time. I think you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Chris Benoit. That's right, the unmentionable one, Chris Benoit. But this DVD right here, if you want to remember Chris Benoit for the great technical wrestler that he was, this is something you definitely got to have in your collection. And the DVD that I'm talking about is Pegasus Kid, The Final Ride. It's a 2-disc set that features Chris Benoit. It's a collection of some of Chris Benoit's final matches during his last few tours in Japan. And for some of you guys who didn't know, Chris Benoit wrestled in New Japan back in the early 90s under a mask as the Pegasus Kid or Wild Pegasus, and then he would return to wrestling in New Japan in I believe what, 95, during this time when he was in WCW. And you know, WCW and New Japan had a working relationship during that time, so you get a collection of some of his best matches during his last few tours. Like I said, it's a 2-disc set. You get Chris Benoit taking on Lord Steven Regal. That's a great match. You get Chris Benoit taking on Koji Kanemoto for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. You get Chris Benoit and Scott Norton taking on Jushin Liger and Shinya Hashimoto. Also, you get Chris Benoit taking on Shinro Otani. This would be the match that would determine the first ever WCW Cruiserweight Champion. Otani would end up picking up the win. Also, you get Chris Benoit taking on El Samurai. You get Rick Steiner and Keiji Muto taking on Chris Benoit and Road Warrior Animal. Just a great, you know, collection of some of his best matches, like I said, during his final run. Forget all the negativity that we all know what happened with Chris Benoit. If you want to see Chris Benoit at his best in Japan, you got to have this in your collection. Like I said, the Pegasus Kid, The Final Ride. I picked this up from High Spots. I don't think you can find it on High Spots anymore, so check, you know, eBay, sites like that. But definitely, you should have this in your collection. Alright, you guys, this next Blu-ray that I recommend you guys having in your wrestling Blu-ray DVD collection is for all you New Japan, Japanese, pro wrestling fans out there. And this is a Blu-ray that I picked up from a great website. I've talked about them for years, ivpvideos.com. I'll put a link to their website in the description box below. They specialize in Japanese wrestling. And the Blu-ray that I'm talking about is the best of G1 Climax 1991 through 2013. It's a Blu-ray collection of all the match finals of the G1 Climax. If you guys want to get into the history of the G1 Climax and try to understand what makes it such a legendary tournament, I think this is a great Blu-ray to pick up, you know, to understand the legacy of the G1 Climax. The first G1 Climax final in 1991, it was Masahiro Chono and Keiji Muto. Great match. Chono ends up picking up the win, and then in 92 we get Masa Chono taking on Rick Rude in the match final. And this match, or this G1 Climax tournament, would be determined for the vacant NWA heavyweight title. Chono ends up picking up the win, and Chono would win for a lot of years during the 90s and the 2000s. But in 95 we will get Keiji Muto and Shinya Hashimoto in the match final. 97 we would get Kensei Sasaki taking on Hiroshi Tenzan. Let's see, 2000 we would get Kensuke Sasaki taking on Manabu Nakanishi. Nakanishi, some of you guys might remember him as Kurosawa during his run in WCW. He became a big star in New Japan after he left WCW. 2001 we will get Yuji Nagata taking on Keiji Muto. 2002 we will get Masahiro Chono taking on Yoshihiro Takayama. Great match. 2003 Hiroshi Tenzan taking on Jun Akiyama. Akiyama at this time was wrestling for Pro Wrestling Noah. Let's see what else we get on here. 2007 Yuji Nagata taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi. 2011 Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Tetsuya Naito. Great match. 2012 The Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada taking on Machine Gun Carl Anderson. And then 2013 Tetsuya Naito taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi. But like I said, great Blu-ray collection right here. If you guys want to go back, check all the match finals for like the first 22 years of the G1 Climax, you should definitely have this in your collection. Alright you guys, this final wrestling Blu-ray that I recommend you guys having in your collection. It's one of my all-time favorite WCW pay-per-views. And you know, growing up back in the 90s, I always looked to September when the WCW would have their Fall Brawl pay-per-views, mainly because of the War Games matches. But this pay-per-view or Blu-ray that I recommend you guys having, it's Fall Brawl 1994. Now this Blu-ray right here, this is not put out by the WWE or anything like that. This is a, you know, a custom-made Blu-ray. There's a great seller on Etsy called Wrestling Collections. I'll put a link to his Etsy page in the description box below. He kind of specializes in custom-made wrestling Blu-rays. But the Fall Brawl 1994 pay-per-view, I loved it mainly because of the main event. You get Dusty and Dustin Rhodes teaming up with the Nasty Boys to take on Colonel Parker's Stud Stable. Now the Stud Stable consisted of Colonel Parker, Bunkhouse Buck, Terry Funk, and Arn Anderson. Great War Games match. Also during this match, maybe some of you wrestling fans out there might know what I'm talking about. Colonel Parker has kind of an accident during this match. I'm not going to go into any specifics, but if you guys want to know more about his accident, just Google it and you'll find out what I'm talking about. But I love this War Games match right here. Also on the Fall Brawl 94 pay-per-view, Johnny B. Bad beats Lord Steven Regal to capture the television title for the first time in his career. Also, we get a loser leaves WCW match between Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack. Jack would end up losing the match so he could devote more time to being in ECW and wrestling in Japan. Also, we were going to get Stunner Steve Austin taking on the U.S. champion Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Steamboat ends up having to forfeit the U.S. title, but Commissioner Nick Bockwinkel has Steve Austin an opponent, and that was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Duggan ends up beating Steve Austin in like 30-something seconds to win the U.S. title. You know, Duggan gets a big pop. Also, we get Pretty Wonderful taking on Stars and Stripes for the WCW Tag Team titles. And then we get a triangular match. This was WCW's attempt to try to do the three-way dance that ECW did during this year, 1994. We get Vader taking on the Guardian Angel, in which the winner would take on Sting. Vader ends up beating the Guardian Angel. And then Vader and Sting, they have a clinic of a match. They go to like a 20-minute draw and then another like 5-minute draw, and then they end up going into sudden death, and Vader would end up picking up the win, and Vader would become like the #1 contender for the WCW title. But all in all, Fall Brawl 94, classic, great pay-per-view. Like I said, one of my all-time favorite War Games matches. But if you pick up this Blu-ray from Wrestling Collections on Etsy, you also get, as a bonus, you get the Clash of Champions from August of '94, which features the main event, Hulk Hogan taking on Ric Flair. This is the Clash of the Champions where Hulk Hogan ends up getting hit in the leg by the masked guy. Also, we get Lord Steven Regal taking on Antonio Inoki. Dusty and Dustin Rhodes would team up to take on Terry Funk and Bunkhouse Buck. And also we get a great classic match between Ricky the Dragon Steamboat taking on Stunning Steve Austin. Steamboat would end up winning the U.S. title. Great match. But man, this is a great little Blu-ray right here that I highly recommend you guys having. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this, my top 5 wrestling Blu-ray DVDs for the month of September 2023. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to give this video a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Links to my Twitter and my Instagram in the description box below. Thank you guys for so much, for always checking out my videos. And thank you guys so much for always coming back to my channel. But until next time, I'm Jammin' Music Man, and I will see you guys all in the next video.